verse number 13. Kutastam bodham advaitam atmanam paribhavaya abhasoham brahmam muktva bhavam bahyamatantaram. As we discussed this verse, that is Pathaveda, somewhere muktva, somewhere tyaktva. So in this verse we saw that Atma Dhyanam is to be done. Because only by doing Atma Dhyana, Swarupa Avasthiti will take place. Means one will be able to abide within one's own self. And interestingly, in this verse, we saw the upama. Upama means example, so that I am using certain words so that it becomes easier for you to understand. So upama, kutastha upama. So kutastha upama means the example of kutastha was being given. So where we explained how a blacksmith uses that anvil and try to shape all sort of iron things, but the anvil never changes. Kutavat tishtati. So also Atmanaha, Atma, in whose presence, please understand, all sort of vikara takes place, all sort of modification takes place, but never goes through any modification. Abhikaritvam darshayati iti. Then of course, one also need to work. Bhranti is there always. So what is that Bhranti? The Bhranti is nothing but the delusion. So whatever appears, I would rather say whatever is convenient to me, whatever is suitable for my raga and dvesha, so that is me. So that's why it was being highlighted that abhasa aham iti. I am a mere appearance. So this abhasa aham iti brahmam, this is actually brahma. This is a delusion. I am a father, I am a mother, I am this. And especially that dharma of the mind, when it becomes my dharma. Not my dharma, it is me. That's more dangerous. So when I go through that, because that becomes very serious issue. My dharma I can understand, but me is more dangerous. So Brahmam tyaktva bahya atha antaram bhavam tyaja. So that means again the person has to work very carefully. So tyaja means there is some type of effort, some type of work to be done. Simply it will never happen. So continuously, constantly one need to put effort with reference to both internal and external identification. So I have two levels of identification. Sometimes externally I identify, also internally. We have seen up to this. So that means here this verse highlights asya slokaha sadhakam atmaswarupe stiram nishtham stapayati. That means how to have commitment, that to steady in one's own self. This is what is being highlighted here. Continuous effort, no excuse in this. Continuing. Deha bhimana pashena chiram baddhosi putraka bodhoham jnana khadgena tam nikritya sukhi bhava. So if you look at this verse with reference to Anya, put in prose order, putraka addresses very carefully. So putrak means oh child, oh dearer one. So that's why the teacher has to be compassionate enough. So without that, nothing is going to work. But sometimes what happens when the teacher becomes compassionate, so the student think it is weakness. So that is the dangerous part. However, O putraka, O child, putraka, deha abhimana pashena chiram baddha asi. So if you look at this, let us look at, he wants to highlight, so that verse wise we can see, look it very carefully. First thing he wants to highlight, deha abhimana, identification with body mind complex. Deha stands for body, but mind complex you can add. Identification with deham, with body, is like a pasham, is like a noose. Pasavat iti. And because of that reason, it is a bandhana karanam. It is the cause of your bondage. So if this is the case, so that means to tie down you need a rope or noose, whatever, then you need to cut that. So how to cut? So you need a khadga, you need a knife, you need a sword. So strong one you need a very, because it's such a big and ever growing rope, okay? It's not ordinary rope. So for that you need a really good khadga. So he uses this word, Atma Jnanam Khadgavat. Remember, this is the both word is most important. I am giving it. As though. Because, please understand, Deha Bhimana is as though a bondage. As though a noose. Now, knowledge is as though a khadga, a sword to cut. But in reality, there is nothing. It is like, as though there is a water seeing the mirage. So if you understand that there is as though water seeing the mirage, you also can run as though to help the child. You understand? As though running. But in reality you are not running. Can you see this point? This is called understanding. So as though, I gave you the example of as though tying down the horses and as though releasing the horses in the last class. Hope you remember that story. Then comes that this upama, this narration, this story, this similes that have been given. Through that it says that look, the bondage and liberation, it is just apparently visible. In reality, neither bondage nor there is a freedom. So that's why what you need to do. So you need to work on commitment with reference to yourself. So how you are committed to many things in your life, just observe. Morning get up to till evening, how you are committed, where you are committed, how you are committed. Now at least try to get committed to one's own self or related to yourself. Now here he says, look, understanding this concept very carefully. Now let us look at the verse in this angle. Putra kaha deha abhimana pashena chiram baddha asi. O child, you have long been bound by the noose of identification with the body. So it is not just now. Many lives you have passed through. Ananta Janma. We say Anadikala, beginningless time. You have been associating yourself. It is not this life work, remember. So when this identification is, lifelong, God knows how many lives you have gone through. So that means what? Don't worry. This is called compassion comes of the teacher. So teacher understand, hey, you are going through the hell, I understand, don't worry. Now, then he says what you need to do. When you are going through, bodhaha aham, because of that aham dehaha iti, that's why you are bound. I am body, you are bound. Now what you need to do? You need to just change it. Don't say aham dehaha, I am body, but I am bodhaha. I am the knowledge, I am the awareness, I am chit ityarthaha. So in whose presence that I consider that I am body. Catch that. Don't catch that my body is this, my mind is this, I am stupid, I am smart, I am gentle, I am harsh. No. In whose presence these waves are keep moving thoughts. So in whose presence you are able to see all the thoughts, that is indeed you. So the shift takes place, not that I am thought, I am body, I am angry, I am depressed, I am suppressed, I am elated. No. In whose presence the elation, depression, everything happens. Or because of which I am able to understand that I am elated, I am depressed. That is indeed me. So he says, bodhaha aham iti. And once you do that, then what happens? That becomes your jnana khadga. How? The moment you say, I am angry, then what happens? Now the heart in you pops up. Now when heart in you pops up, now there is object of anger. Once there is object of anger, so you want to take care of that. Now all the process happens. So in the process, you are getting entangled more and more or not. So you are tied up with many things for no reason. Now the moment you say, hey, look, in whose presence the anger surfaces. Because of whose presence I am able to see that I am angry. Hey, that indeed is me. Now tell me, where is the object of anger? And even if there is object of anger, that object of anger is indeed me. So now let me get angry with me. So that becomes your khadga, the sword, jnana khadga. That's why we highlight very carefully, to have this buddhi, you need to have shraddha, you need to have upasana balam. If these two are not there, shraddha and upasana balam, if these two are not there, it's not that easy to appreciate this or to work with. So once you know this, then what happens? Jnana khadgena tam pasam. The pasam that you think. So what are the pasam? The noose, that bondage, that bond that you think is nothing that I am body, I am mind, etc. So those pasam, you need to cut it. And once you cut it, because in fact it will fall off by itself, then what happens? Nikritya sukhi bhava iti. So once you cut that, once it gets resolved, once it gets dropped, once it fades away by seeing the limitations of it, what happened? You remember as what? Sukhi bhava. Automatically be happy. That's why we say, to become unhappy, I have to do many things. But to be happy, I don't have to do anything. This is called understanding. But we all are taught, to become happy, I have to do many things. But not to become happy, I have to keep quiet. You understand? It's completely other way around. To be happy, you don't have to do anything. You have to understand. Here understanding involved. Whereas to become unhappy, you have to do many things. That's why you people are, okay? More you do, more you are unhappy. Continuing. Nishango niskriyo sitvam Suprakasho niranjana अयमेव हि ते बन्धः समाधिम अनुतिष्ठसे. Actually, I consider this verse is very important because here he tries to address the student very straightforward way, especially all yoga or experienced oriented people. And here he says, look, समाधि अनुष्ठानम अपि बंध कारणम. So even if you are getting into samadhi, means you are practicing to get into samadhi. I am translating very carefully, but if you want to translate in general, so you can say that you practice meditation. But actual translation would be, even if you are practicing to get into samadhi, whether it is in savikalpaka samadhi or nirvikalpaka samadhi. Don't ask me what are they, okay? Especially all yoga nuts, yoga people, or any self-made gurus or the packages that are popular in the market. All religious people, makes no difference which religion you belong to or listen to, makes no difference. All of them come under this category. And that is being challenged in this verse very straightforward way. What he says, look, even if you are practicing to get into nirvikalpaka samadhi, that itself is a bondage. That's why he says, look, that ayam eva hi te bandha. I am going to the last line. Then I will come why and how. Ayam eva hi te bandha. So that means what? Look, ayam eva. But this alone is your bondage. Ayam eva hi. Not anything else. Eva alone. This indeed alone is your bondage. And what is that? He says that is the bondage, what you say as samadhim tvam anutishtas. So you are practicing, you are performing, you are doing anushtanam to get into samadhi. And not that he is dismissing samadhi, okay? Please understand. That putting effort, why? He says, look, because in reality who you are? In reality, tvam nishangaha iti. Free from all shanga's attachment. So that means when you are free from association, why you want to get into samadhi or putting effort samadhi to dissociate? You are by nature itself free from all sort of association. Then comes, please understand, because wherever there is association, also there is a dependence. Please look at this aspect also. And because of that reason, what happened? Also you start depending upon. Then again he says, not only tvam nishangaha, tvam niskriyaha iti. So niskriya means kriyarahitaha. You are actionless, beyond activities. So that means what? Atma swatta siddhaha iti. So when it is kriyarahita, kriyabhirahitaha means karana karya sambandhitat iti. It is more than karya karana sambandha relationship. Then he says not only that, swaprakasha iti. Atma swayam eva prakasate. The Atma, the self, illumines by itself. Self-luminous iti. Anya pramanasya apeksha nasti. It does not need other pramanas, means of knowledge, to reveal itself. It's like to see my body. You need the help of light. You need now internet. You need many things, okay? These are the pramana nowadays, okay? But to see one's own self, you don't need any means of knowledge. Eyes are not required. That's why once in a while we have to remember that there are 6 pramanas, third pramanas, okay? However, let us not get into too much technical point, because why I am enjoying, because the first chapter of this Astavakra Gita, I have completed Sanskrit commentary. So that's why it becomes easier for me to read. Just by reading itself, my job is done. I don't have to do anything. No preparation is required because everything is in my hand now. So then good. Then he asked the question, look, yadi atma nitya swarupa prakasha asti tari tasya praptyartham sadhana kartyam iti mithya bandhana bhavati. So if it is like, I am already free. If I am already free, now I am working to become free. What does it mean? So that means there can be 2 reasons. One reason is that I am free, I do not know that I am free. Or I know already I am free, but to inspire others to, teach something to others, I pretend that as though I am freeing myself, like the teacher did, hugging the tree. So all the example you can see the cross references. So this could be 2 reasons. There is no third reason at all. As though I am bondage, as though I am free. Or I seriously take that I am bound, so I have to work seriously that how to become free person. So I cannot shift my mind conveniently. It will not going to work. So that's why not to shift my mind conveniently, you need 2 things, upasana and shraddha. So without this shraddha and upasana, nothing going to work. Vedanta is not going to work. So that's why he says, look, he wants to highlight in this verse. Says, look, Atma Swatta Siddha iti. I don't have to establish myself. I am self-established. But generally what you do? Whole life you are working to establish yourself. You are trying to establish who you are not who you are. Who you are not are going to be established more and more in your life. So finally what happens at the end of the day? You discover you are nobody, more frustration. Atma Swatta Siddha iti. You are self-established. So when you are self-established, don't work to establish yourself. This is not an ordinary buddhi, okay? This is only, aneka janma karma phala. Many lives karma phala only can give you this sort of maturity. That you are not working to establish yourself. Yes, you are working to be comfortable. Make comfortable. You understand? Making others comfortable or creating comfort for yourself, you are working. But not establishing yourself. Look at yourself, what you do so far. You are working to establish. So what did you do so far? Yes, you establish yourself that, you know what? You did not take care of your hair. So from black it became grey. So then once you have money, what to do? Now you put painting so that grey becomes black. This is called establishing. Jocularly I am putting it. I hope you understand the concept. So in short, learn not to establish yourself. This is how you need to start with psychologically. So psychologically, you don't have to establish yourself anywhere. That's why an insecure person tries to establish. Secure person will never do work. For what? So then, from psychologically, you need to work with intellectually. Please understand, because intellectually and psychologically, because there is a crash emotion is involved. So to take care of that, this Shraddha. So Shraddha is nothing to start with, relying upon somebody where you don't have anything to interfere. So that could be grandparents, not parents, okay? Because parents with parents, you have only subjectivity. That entity can be grandparents, that entity can be anybody, anything. Remember, where you don't have much interference, you at least learn to listen to. Then once you handle that level, then what happens? Now this Shastra starts working. Hey, look, forget about psychologically, emotionally, intellectually. In reality, I don't have to work to establish myself. So what did I do? The best joke, don't forget, once in a while remind yourself that you got the car to go to office. Now why are you going to office? To pay the EMI of the car. So, directly or indirectly, many of you are caught or in this whirlpool or not. I remember those days, very nicely they say, those who struggle, like they come from village to cities. In a village they will have big land, everything will be there comfortably. They will come to city. For what? To earn money. Now, they have to work, losing everything. And do they happy? Then after that, they discover they have nothing, because the house that you get is not yours. This is Pujya Swamiji's statement, so that's why I am replaying his words, okay? The house that you are living, the roof is somebody's floor. Your floor is somebody's roof. Your wall is somebody's wall, okay? Only your wall is what? Bathroom. That's why people love to be in bathroom. What you call apartment, okay? I'm talking about that only. Independent houses, you can say, up to some extent is yours, don't worry. Coming back. So here, when that, even if samadhi anushtanam is bandhakaram, then he says, look, to understand yourself, atma swarupe kevalam jnanam avashyakam sadhanam na. This is the most important point in this verse. To avoid within one's own self. Actually, there is no sadhana required. But knowledge is required. But the problem is, to have knowledge, you need to have sadhana. Without sadhana, there is no knowledge at all. Because the Shraddha to be maintained, you need to have sadhana. Anytime Shraddha can be shaken up. And once your Shraddha is being shaken up, you are out. That Pramana Buddhi itself, not questioning your eyes, you understand? That itself is another type of Shraddha. It is exactly like you are seeing from a distance that two people are talking. So your eyes see something, but your mind process, actually they were talking about me because last time they did it. Some thought you have. Now what happens? Even though they are talking, now what mind sees there? Eyes sees two people are talking, but your mind says what? They are plotting against me. So that means, where is your Shraddha for your eyes? Do you have Shraddha? So that's why here he says that what need to do? Most important thing is, sadhaka, he says, look, asya shloka sadhakam kartutta buddhinashena atmanisthayam pravartayati iti. The most important thing we need to work on with us, anytime as a sadhaka, that kartutta buddhi should not come up. Kartutta buddhi means that buddhi, the thinking, the decision, where it highlights that I am a karta, I am a doer. So wherever my decision faculty leads to me to become a doer, why? Because of bhaktrutta buddhi. Behind me, what is there? I want to enjoy. Unless there is sense of enjoyership, can I be a doer? The sense of doership will not be there. So wherever there is doership, there is enjoyership in me. The stronger the enjoyership in me, the stronger doership comes. So whole effort is not to encourage the sense of doership in me. Whereas when I am practicing samadhi, so that in samadhi I will abide with myself. Now am I destroying my kartutva buddhi or I am strengthening my kartutva buddhi? That's why this itself is wrong. More of it will say. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.